This is such a big thing, right?
Thank you.
Come on, Jim. Good morning, Colin.
Morning.
Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Hello and welcome to Qatar's first sports podcast, In the Game. I'm your host, Steve Mackey, and we can't wait to introduce you to everything that is sports here in Qatar and afar. We're going to be bringing you personalities, company owners, institutions, individuals that are making a real difference. So, with us, enjoy the journey.
Hello and welcome to In the Game, Qatar's first sports podcast. I'm trying to think to myself, I normally say that we've got a wonderful guest today, but I want to step it up a little. I want to say we've got a tremendous guest today. I first met you at Aspire Academy. I was blown away. So now I'm going to introduce you, everyone. This is Kathleen Bates. I'm sorry I've introduced you already. She's a wonderful lady, and we need more people like this lady. Come on, tell us what you do.
Thank you, Steve. So as Steve said, my name is Kathleen, and here in Doha, we are focusing on inclusive sports. So we are providing sports opportunities for anybody with a disability. Basically, from ages 4 and up, any ability we can accommodate in some form of sports program.
No, that's amazing in itself. But please tell what you were doing when I first met you.
So when we met, we were watching our swimming classes. So we are offering anybody ages 4 and up with any sort of disability or special need a private one-on-one class where they can learn to swim. So we have the ability to teach from very beginner up through competition level, competitive swimming, all sorts of swimming levels, all abilities are welcome. So what you got to see were people in the water doing their proper swimming lessons and actually learning to swim.
And I'm still staggered with what you do, because it's not just swimming, right? You step it a little bit more than that.
So we are able now, we're delivering swimming classes, hundreds and hundreds of classes a month are being taught through our program, roughly 600 exactly. We can also offer scuba diving as well as football.
Okay, let me stop you there.
Yeah, please.
Because I went scuba diving in Turkey with my family. Hello. I went scuba diving. I was scared to death. Okay. I had these tanks on me. I've got the weights. I've got the breathing apparatus. I've got signs to consider. I've got all these things. And this is from my side of things. Mm-hmm. How is it for your members?
So it's great that you went. I'm sorry that you had a bad experience.
Oh.
So that's the opposite of what we want our students to be saying.
Yeah.
But we do. We work with all abilities, and we teach them safely and proper scuba techniques. In fact, we were able to take a young Qatari boy here and put him through his certification process, and he's now the first ever disabled Qatari boy to earn his scuba license here in the country. And so we can do it in the proper way, and we can make it so that you would end up loving the sport and not having had a bad experience like you had.
Yeah, but where I admire so much is the individuals.
Mm-hmm.
So these people with disabilities, a blind person.
Mm-hmm.
What must they be going through?
You know, it's fascinating. A lot of people ask me that. Why does a blind person want to go scuba diving? Because they can't see anything. And while that may be true, their other senses are elevated. So they might hear things that we don't hear, or they might feel things that we don't feel. Sight, we're so dependent on sight, but for somebody who doesn't have it, they just get on with it.
Yeah.
They just enjoy everything else about the activity. And to teach a blind person scuba diving, which I've done, it's amazing. It's amazing to see how they learn and to watch them master the skills just the same as you or your family members.
But I since I've met you, and I've been so looking forward to, and I'm not just saying this, I've been so looking forward to you to come onto the show. I've been trying to close my eyes and to think about what I'm going through, and I can literally get scared with knowing what processes that you go through and having my eyes closed.
So it's interesting, especially if we're talking about scuba diving. With a sighted person, I would show you a hand signal, and that's what you would do underwater. But if you cannot see me, I can't show you that.
Yeah.
So I would actually teach the sign into your hand. I would press the skill into your hand that I want you to do. And it's almost like a a little coded language that we can do without seeing each other or speaking because we're also underwater. So even if I say to you something, you're underwater, you won't hear me.
Yeah.
So
But this is a
kind of-
whole new skill set for you. You've been doing it for so long.
It's just a different level of things, isn't it? A different way of doing it, of teaching, and a different way of learning. But for the person who wants to learn, regardless of ability, we will find a way to teach you.
And that is just, I'm just listening to that back to myself. That is just incredible. That's just, must be so rewarding.
It is rewarding. I think you have the right combination of things. You have the student who wants to learn, the family that's supportive of them wanting to learn, and us who love to show them what they can do. We're a program focusing on what people can do and not what they cannot do. We're focusing on ability. We're focusing on safety and teaching them in the right way so they have lifelong activities to participate in, and in swimming, scuba diving, football, etc.
Kathleen, how did you get involved in this in the first place?
Oh, this is a very long story.
Yeah, please.
Just, honestly, I will summarize it, but it came from a real just personal interest. I just was fascinated back in college. I myself was a ski instructor, and I was asked to volunteer in a program for people with disabilities, and I was fascinated. How does a blind person ski down a mountain, or somebody without legs? I just didn't know. I was 20 years old. I didn't have any experience with it, and I just started volunteering, and I just fell in love with it, and it's just stayed with me my whole career. I've always just been interested in finding a way for somebody to participate in something that I can go and do when I want.
Yeah.
I want everyone to have that. I want everyone to feel like they have a place to go and an activity that they love and a sport that they're good at. So I just wanted to help create environments where people could feel that. The same way sport empowers many people around the world. There's a group that I don't want to feel left out.
Yeah. But that's amazing. And another thing that I noticed when I came to talk to you, and I was seeing when you're taking the lessons for the young kids, okay, some of them are in their own world, but you've got to get them focused on the swimming side of things.
Yeah.
And another thing at this stage I'm going to bring up is your volunteers. It's like, and by the way, if you ever want to volunteer for this is an amazing opportunity because you're looking for volunteers.
We're especially on the football side. We would be happy to take in volunteers. We can train them up to be sort of an assistant coach.
Yeah.
And we would love that. We're looking for volunteers 5 days a week. And I can put people in contact with the connection there.
That's incredible. That is incredible. I'm sorry I jumped there, but your team are very important. And the one thing that we get with our sports podcast is that we try to say, or most of our guests look up and say, we love what we do. Okay, and seeing all your team, they love what they do.
They love what they do.
You love what you do.
Absolutely. It's not for everybody. We've had other coaches who've come in and tried it and said that it wasn't for them, and rightfully so. It's not for every sports coach. You can be a great coach, but you've got to be interested and engaged in this special population that we're working with.
Yeah.
It's not always easy, but it's so rewarding when you get the right combination. And the coaches that I have, we're a small group, but everybody is thrilled to be there. They want to be there.
The real deal, okay?
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I'm thinking to myself as a coach now. And because it's not easy being a coach, and it's not easy then being a coach with people that could be wanting to hit you.
Absolutely. We get hit on or hit, kicked, spit on.
Yeah.
Things happen, and you've got to be so committed to just pushing through that and getting past those roadblocks and getting to the real meat of the goal, which is the skill.
But it must come down, and they have to. You said talking about the senses. There's got to be the senses that you've got to come from, because the thing with it is you're going to take them into an area where they're not going to feel the grain. There's water. Maybe I'm not going to be able to swim, so I'm going to have to trust you with my life.
That's it.
And that's where I find it to be able to get in such a short space of time to get that trust.
There's a real truth to that. You have to have a relationship with not only a student, but with their family. We have many families on the first day where mom and dad are ready to jump in the pool and save their child. I ask mom and dad, can you swim? And they say no. And I ask, well, please sit down. because we got this.
Yeah.
But there has to be a trust, and the relationships that we build with these families are very real. And we've been involved with many of them for years and years. We become part of their family. You know, we get invited to birthday parties, and we want to be there. We want to be a part of that, but we absolutely won't move forward without trust.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, it's got to be. And again, I try to, and I literally have. I've tried to envisage everything that you must go through, and it's kind of an incredible story because it's just brilliant. So let me get on to something else. So, what was your journey here in Qatar, and how did it start off, and how did your journey go forward?
So initially, I've been in the country for roughly 12 years, and about 8 years ago, I kept asking people, where are the disabled people? I don't see them out doing sports or doing activities that I'm doing. Where are they? And what I found was there just weren't a lot of existing programs. There weren't a lot of opportunities at that time. And so I said, let me try and start something. So through Vodafone, I was able to get some money to start a small program.
Okay.
And through that, sort of one by one, we have grown. And now with the wonderful support of Qatar Foundation, it's really taken off. Like gasoline's been poured on this initiative.
But aren't you so proud? Because I'm an expat in Qatar, and I'm so proud of Qatar Foundation with what Sheikha Moses done with. She's going to be a legend for.
It's amazing. It's amazing the changes in the country, the progress in this, especially in this field. The country has opened tremendously, and things are changing all the time and improving.
Yeah.
For the special populations, Qatar Foundation right now is amazing. It's got nothing but motivation to make everything across the state accessible and inclusive. They're working really hard to try not only within QF, but outside through different partnerships and organizations to try to make everything in the country available. And QF is open to everybody. It's not only open to QF members, it's open to anyone in the country.
Yeah.
So you can come and be a part of all the inclusive programming that's happening there.
It is just incredible. And I was at Al Shikab yesterday, which is part of Qatar Foundation. That's an incredible place.
Sure
and
is.
for the horse riding and all those type of things. And a lot of people don't know it's there still.
No, and there are a lot of resources at QF that are available that people probably don't know. And I definitely want people to know that it's open to everybody. It's Education City is for all. It's being activated for everybody in the state. And there are some very amazing programs happening for the special needs and disabled population.
Well, that's one thing. What we're going to do is that I want you to pass all that information on and definitely come back when you've got stuff that you want to promote, because with what the initiatives that you've done is fantastic, and I want to support you in any way we can here. That's the big thing. So and I'm just going to talk about another favorite place of mine in QF is the library. That is just amazing. I recommend to anybody get your membership card.
For sure. Beautiful facility, no
beautiful
doubt.
Beautiful facility. But that's what Qatar Foundation is all about. When I see the initiatives that you're doing,
And I will say, too, one of the amazing things is the initiative that we've got going right now, which is our Ability Friendly program. It's being funded by an outside donor. So there was a private citizen in the country who has given money for us to start our Ability Friendly sports programming. And that's amazing, too. It's amazing that somebody here, just a private citizen, recognized that there needs to be opportunities and has provided that.
Unbelievable. And this is a game where sometimes Qatar doesn't get the justification it deserves.
This is a beautiful thing that he's done.
Oh, dear me.
Continues to do.
And you know, I still get tingles now when I came to saw it was just a magnificent thing. It was, and what you're doing. And so you're doing with the Qatar Foundation. You're how many hours a day do you work?
It's busy. You know, it's something we talk about at work. It's definitely a passion project. You have to wake up energized to do this. You have to go to bed motivated to get up the next morning and do this. It's a real labor of love. It's something that's not for everybody, but we absolutely love it. We love the changes and the transformations that we're seeing in families. We love hearing from them and seeing the changes that it's made in their daily life. something as simple as teaching somebody to swim can affect so many other areas of their life. And we believe it so much. So the hours of the day, we don't keep track. It flies by. It goes so quick because we're all so motivated to keep going.
And with there's families, they don't have to be on their own anymore.
Right.
Do you know?
That's a good point. I think it's really important what we're doing, not only teaching the kids, we're also teaching adults, but we're building communities and support systems for these families so they can meet other families who have similar struggles or similar challenges, and then they feel like they're not alone. They know they're not alone.
Yeah.
Because maybe this other family who they might not have met otherwise, except they can meet at the pool or meet at the football pitch, then they help each other.
Yeah.
And socially too.
Mm-hmm.
We hear from a lot of families that a lot of the kids don't get invited to birthday parties or other things, but here they're making friends, and it becomes a social outlet as well.
Yeah.
For everybody involved.
Yeah. But with the I still keep on. I'm looking at. I'm so glad that you. I know this. I'm saying it again. Okay. I'm so glad that you came on, because that evening you just left me with so many different brilliant memories, and again and I look at some of the kids and how your team members were dealing with it, and how they were looking and calming, and then. Right. And then kind of getting into the pool. It was brilliant. I
think too, we're right now we're working with ages 4 up to, we have an 81-year-old man in the program. So we're all ages and we're all abilities. And a strength of our team, all of our team members, is to meet that person where they are and then make a plan specifically for them. So while one child may not want to get into the pool, would rather just run sprints around the outside, we can accommodate that. Or someone else is screaming their face off, we can deal with that. Like, we can deal with it because we're in our mind, we're making a plan just for that child.
Yeah, of course.
So that's the neat thing about being able to customize and the flexibility and the skills of the coaches to do that on the spot.
Yeah. And because my family's come from a helping background, and sometimes you've got to build that trust. Sometimes you've got to, and we said about the trust. Yeah. Sometimes you've got to get to know the person. Sometimes they've got to let off steam, and then they come back to you, and then you can.
And sometimes they get in and they have a tantrum and a meltdown, and we don't know why. We had one little boy who he got in one day and he was fine, and the next day he came back and he wasn't okay. And it turns out the light in the pool was different. The small pool had a small light on one day and the next day it wasn't on. And that just sent this poor guy over the edge.
Whoa.
But he couldn't communicate that with us. So we were, racking our heads trying to figure out what's going on today, what's different.
And how did you find that problem? How did you
Honestly,
solve it?
One of the lifeguards said to us, "Hey, yesterday this light was on. Do you want me to turn it on?" Turned it on and all was calm and he got on with his swimming.
Whoa.
But, you wouldn't know, and communications can be a challenge.
I told you before, we had a little bit of a talk beforehand, and I said about Afaf, who's one of the the first Qatari lady boxer, and she had dyslexia, and it was only the coach that found out that she had dyslexia, and that once he found that out, the door was open.
You just get on with it.
You get on with it,
right?
And again, and this is where you're so important, and your team are so important, because you notice these little things. It's important to you because you've got to get that. And again, it comes back to the trust, but it must be a magical feeling.
It is. Once we figured out that the light needed to be turned on, it was a great day.
Yeah.
But just getting to that point. And so that's with every student. So, we have 65 swimmers right now in the Qatar Foundation swimming program. And so we've got to figure out with those 65, what is their little light moment? What is it with them that we're going to make them successful? Now, many of them can tell us, but for those that can't, it's a bit more of a guessing game.
Yeah.
But, with experience, you can kind of start putting things together, and patience too. The patience of our coaches is unbelievable.
Yeah. You have a special something, don't you?
Yeah,
you have a special something.
It's And it's nice because I feel like in Qatar now, everybody's open to this, and that even that we're
Yeah.
having this
Yeah,
conversation,
yeah, of course.
12 years ago, it wouldn't have happened. So it shows that the country's really embracing and progressing as well
Of
too.
course, and I see that so much. I've been here for 10 years, and the progress that they make. Sometimes nobody's going to get it right 100%, no
No.
matter where you are in the world. But at least here, if they see something's wrong, they put it.
They want to get better. And I think that's amazing. And we want to help. I mean, we're proud to live here. We've lived here a long time. We want to be a part of the positive change.
Yeah.
And we see that it's being embraced and it's happening. I see it every single day at Qatar Foundation that change is coming, and it's amazing.
Yeah, I'm again. It's only with people like yourself, okay. And I know that there's a bigger picture of QF, but they have an ability to find the right people for the right role, and that's the great thing about them is when they see something, when they can see finding somebody like you.
Yeah, just to speak a minute about our football program, they've got 2 guys who've come in from Liverpool. I mean, which is probably, I'm not the most knowledgeable about football, but it's the tippy top of football, I think.
Yeah.
Some might disagree with me on that, but they've brought in, these wonderful guys who know football in and out, and now they're delivering these amazing sessions too to people ages 5 and up with all abilities.
Yeah.
So, and it's wonderful.
Yeah. So I was going to say about the football program. I know that I saw you doing all the swimming and all the. So that's a big thing that you do at Qatar Foundation, or what?
Yes. So across the state, the Qatar Foundation is delivering programs in Doha and Al Khor.
Okay.
In swimming and football.
Okay.
And as well as in Qatar, there are also other programs happening.
Yep.
I know Evolution Sports is doing something now.
Yeah.
I think with football, the American School has a baseball, like an American-style baseball league. Aspire Academy has some swimming and scuba diving happening. So there are other, and I'm sure that there are others.
Yeah.
There's play ball happening. There are a lot of things happening, and I think QF is now in the position where we can start helping all of those to be elevated.
Yeah.
And to sort of glue everything together.
And I'm going to I know that I told you it was going to go very quickly, right?
Are we done?
And not yet, but we're very close. But I know that you've got the program at Aspire Academy, and I know that you've got a waiting list now. Okay, so what you could be helpful with is if you ever want to get involved from a volunteer perspective, you're more than welcome to make contact with you.
We're happy to accept, especially on the football side for volunteers. Today we can accept volunteers there.
Okay,
we're always looking for support in terms of financial support. Is welcome, very welcome.
I'm hoping that we can. We've got talks. I'm loving it if we can do something from a charity perspective. That's what I'm looking.
We're very open to that. And also, if you just want to come and see what we're doing, in Qatar Foundation, in Aspire anywhere, if you want to come and just come like you did and come down and visit. And learn more about it.
And give us the email address that they get in contact with you with.
Sure. So the best way would be through it's abilityfriendly@qf.org.qa.
Okay.
And you could reach us there, and then we could send the email to the exact right person for you.
Okay.
So
perfect.
abilityfriendly, one word, @qf.org.qa.
Did you all get that one? Please.
Ability friendly.
Yeah, please. Come on.
And we mean that. The name is there for a meaning, because we really want to be friendly and welcoming of all abilities.
Yeah.
And we want QF to become as inclusive as possible. So while we're delivering lots of mainstream sports programs, at the same time, we want siblings who might need just a little bit adaptation. We want them to be included as well.
And let me because something just jumped out at me just now, and I just want to bring it up to everybody. There's a couple of things. One, it's a social thing. Okay, you like-minded people. Okay, like-minded people that have the same interests and the same goals. Let's say, you're more than welcome. Correct.
Yeah.
And then you've got from 4 years old to 81 years old. Okay. be a part of it. It's like, come and join, because
That's
it is a
right.
magical trip.
If you know anybody who you think might benefit from our program, send them our way. We will find a way to get them involved.
Oh, wonderful. Now, on that note, I told you that 30 minutes was going to fly.
It sure did.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you so much for listening today. As you can see that we had a tremendous guest today. I just want to leave something with you right now before we go. Okay? It doesn't matter what your ability, you have no excuses. Get up and do something about it. Go and push yourself. Go and be a part of this wonderful group. It's magical, and you will find something really, truly special. Correct?
Correct. Please come. We are welcome. We'd love to meet you. Thank you very
Kathleen,
much.
thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
Thanks everybody for listening, and until next week, thank you very much. Bye-bye for now.